Welcome back, my friends, to the show that never ends. Hey, I'm Rod. This is the Man Cave. Channel's called Happy Hippie, the Vinyl Guy. This is a thread that's been started back up by a guy named Steven. I think his last name is Sneed. If I'm butchering that last name, man, I do apologize. Anyway, it's show 3 albums that were made in a row in concession by an artist. He's asked that they've have to have more than 5 albums. A few years ago, this was going around as a jazz Trinity. I remember watching Andy Edwards, but it's been started back up. The Holy Trinity, 3 albums by an artist in a row. Tommy's Musical Venture, I saw a wonderful video by him. MGK Boston, Glenn Calloway from the Basement, the VC Ambassador. So I've been hearing, this light bulb's fucking warm, man. I've been seeing a lot of great channels jump on this and show some amazing stuff. 3 albums in a row by an artist. I'm going to start off with Steve Earle. Steve Earle, fresh out of the penitentiary, came back with a new attitude in life, and it reflected in his music. Steve Earle, Train a Comin'. Great CD. Fantastic. Then he came out with this one, I Feel Alright, which was the Americana Album of the Year when it was released. And it was, I believe, 90, I should know this, 96, 97. Followed up by this masterpiece, Corazon, Steve Earle, singing about politics now and things that matter instead of just getting drunk and raising hell. So this was a great 3-album run. It actually went longer than that, but these were the first 3 out of the pen. I'm going to do an obvious one. Bob Dylan did a trio, 3 Christian albums. Slow Train Coming, Saved, Excuse the Glare, and Shot of Love. This was 3 albums he did consecutively, and they were all Christian albums. Another 3 albums. Johnny Winter, one of my musical heroes, a bad man Johnny Winter was. Played a mean slide guitar. His roots were in blues. He played Woodstock in the early 70s. He was putting out some really cool blues-influenced rock and roll music. Edgar Winter, his brother, it was kind of in that glam thing. But anyway, we're talking about Johnny. Well, in the early 80s, he decided to go back to the blues. He signed with Alligator Records, and he made 3 albums with Alligator. Third Degree. Here's the label, if you want to see it. Master Mechanic and Serious Business. All 3 albums in a row. And sadly, it's the only 3 he ever made before Alligator Records. He wanted to make a rock and roll album, and Alligator would not support a rock and roll album, but they said he was welcome back at any time, and sadly, that never happened. Johnny Winter, Texas legend. Guy's incredible. I love Johnny. And last but not least, this came out last year. Charles Lloyd, one of the greatest living jazz musicians alive today. 84, 85, he stood doing it. Last year, he released a trio of trios. Amazing stuff. And they were supposed to be released in a box set, but the record company wanted to put it off and release them individually, like every 2 or every 3 months over the course of that year. We've got Ocean, Charles Lloyd. Fantastic stuff, man. Chapel, Charles Lloyd. And the last of the 3 is really, really cool. This is semi-psychedelic. This is really almost new age stuff. And you can see each album, he had a different trio working with him, another 2 guys. So it's him and 2 friends, musical geniuses working together. So that is my part in doing this thread. Just a way of supporting the VC, coming up with ideas, guys. Keeping this thing rolling. Man, I've been watching some great channels. I discovered some guy today. Darren in the Studio. I was not familiar with him. He was doing an Alice Cooper ranking. Really good stuff, man. Darren in the Studio. Also, All the World's a Stage is killing it when he's doing his year's greatest albums, going from one year to the next, showing his favorite album from that year. All the World's a Stage. Love that channel. Guys, be cool and be good to each other. And do something nice for somebody today. It's a good thing, man. Just something simple.